Minnesota Vikings ownership, the Wilfs, have been notoriously private, quiet. They just pay the money. They let their people work. They stay out of the way. They're great owners in that respect. They ain't like Jerry Jones having a weekly radio show. Get out of here. But they felt compelled to make a statement on Friday because of all the media jackal speculation about the futures of head coach Mike Zimmer and GM Rick Spielman. So this is kind of a big deal. Think about, when is the last time you actually heard Mark Wilf or Ziggy Wilf speak? Not like at a charity function, like when it was actually football stuff. Probably 2014 with the Adrian Peterson, Ziggy, we needed to get this right. So Mark Wilf released this statement on Friday, quote, "We value Mike and Rick's leadership, and we have every intent of Mike continuing as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings and Rick leading our football operations next year and beyond," end quote. So you notice how every single statement that comes out in sports and probably life in general, how every statement from ownership, coaches, whatever, their language always hedges their bets. Like, you can never just fully commit to something because with ownership especially, people don't become billionaires by being stupid. They just really don't. Where if you have, look at some of the bad owners in the NFL, like Stephen Ross, look at Dan Snyder, look at Jerry Jones. I mean, these men are super wizard geniuses in other fields of business, right? And they're pretty okay in the NFL too, because they're making money hand over fist. They just can't run a sports team, right? But here's the thing. You always leave yourself options. You always leave yourself outs. You always leave yourself a way to escape a half guard or whatever. And if they're fully 100% committed, just say it. Just say that Mike Zimmer, Rick Spielman will be back no matter what, including if there is a nuclear bomb. They will be back coaching the nuclear fallout Minnesota Vikings, which they'd be radioactive, so they might actually be good. Right. But they didn't. You notice that they did not. We have every intent. Operative word. And you could say, well, that's not important. It's the same thing. Oh, it absolutely is important. Or you're obviously not a lawyer, because language does matter. And that is the operative phrase right there. Because remember, going back to the famous Rick Spielman line, we have no intention of trading Percy Harvin at this time, until Seattle offers us a first and third for his ass. Yeah, that's exactly what happens, because things change. Always hedge your bets. Always leave yourself out. So the Vikings may really have every intent of keeping Zimmer and Spielman right now. But, I mean, what if Jerry Jones, beep, bop, 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 boom. Hey, Mark, what's up? How about a first for Zimmer? You don't think that will change the calculus a little bit? Or your intents? What if the Vikings somehow get the doors blown off by the Saints, which is not going to happen, but say it does, right? Does that change things a little bit? What about after the draft? What about after free agency? Which, if they're going to move on for Spielman, generally that's what happens with GMs or VPs of football operations. Is they get the draft, they move on, they do all that stuff. So that would be the time to do it. And with the media, I mean, the first response should always be, why is this person lying to me? Or what angle is this person working? Because actions always speak louder than words, and we got words. I didn't see any actions. Like, if this statement was coupled with a multi-year extension with Zim and Rick, I would believe it. But since it doesn't, I don't. Right? And some people who back Zim, rightfully so, they read the statement and treat it as gospel. It's like, the Wolf said he'll be back. He'll be back. Love Zim, which is great. But it's also confirmation bias, because whenever has a sports owner or coach or executive or politician ever gone back on their word? Yeah, and I don't think this is an accident that both of their contracts are synced up through 2020, which is synced up with the contract of what is his name? Oh yeah, Kirkua, Jerome Cousins. Yeah, well, Jerome at times. Yeah, so I think that this is still an up in the air situation, and hell, Vikings ownership may be down to clown for with Spielman and Zim in 2020, but also, you notice that they're going in as a lame duck. So unless they get a multi-year extension, I'm not talking about one-year Band-Aids, which is very common, especially for head coaches, because players don't want to play for a coach who only has 1 year left on their contract. I don't know. I'm still a little bit skeptical. Got skeptical hippo eyes, but what do I know? Your thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Futures of Rick and Zim after the Wolf statement. Also, subscribe Daily Vikings Takes. You want to support the work, pull us something in the Venmo, plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.